Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and it's time for the last rip where we take a look at top gainers on the day, recap any trades that I took, and check out any swing trades for the weekend. Now of course tomorrow we will have the weekend swing watch list episode coming out. Hal is back, so be on the lookout for that. But let's dive into the SPY. Or dive like the SPY, I should say. Because the SPY, the last 3 days, basically this whole week, just dumping. Straight downtrend. This is the DIA actually, but still same thing, straight downtrend. The SPY really dumping hard today. We opened up, dumped, had a little rebound, and just dumped again all the way down at 445. So we're closing just a few dollars away from that 50-day. Now, at this point, I don't think we're going to see a rebound on Monday. We might, but I think they're going to let this drop on down to that 50-day moving average. So we'll see what happens. QQQ down as well. I mean, just everything all across the board on all the ETFs, NASDAQ composite, just a sell-off today, pretty hard sell-off. So I actually took a few trades today and was still holding some swing trades. We'll go over a couple of them here. GEVO was a swing from yesterday. I had held it all the way through all of this. It looks good to try to come up through after hours and pre-market, but with the SPY dumping off, a lot of stocks just dumped today. So I got out of it when I saw it start dumping 731. My initial entry was 691. So not a very big win there. It shows right here that I lost, but this is the P&L day. And from where it opened today, I did lose, but I didn't actually lose on this play. Because you can see the entries there and the sell orders way up here. ENDP is another trade I took today. Just grabbed 50 shares as it was pushing up, but then it got held up at this 335 area pretty hard. I did sell some of it at 304. I think I had a stop loss in there. I did the numbers again. And when I didn't get stopped out on this candle completely, I just tried to let it ride for a little bit, try to hold the VWAP, and as soon as it started cracking the VWAP, I had to get out. So that was a little $2 loss there. RKLB, this one is still looking pretty decent to me, so I held it. I only got 10 shares anyway. I know it shows I'm down $22. I got in at 2014. It's at 1830, but held 18 as support. This is about as much as I want to risk, so we'll see Monday if it can come back up. But if the market dumps, I might have to get out of all of these very quick, maybe possibly even in pre-market. I also took a trade on SOS. They had some earnings. They had 17 times increase revenue from 2020. So they got a nice pop in pre-market. I didn't like to blow the 200-day at 340. But it was breaking at 50 and had room to try to run to at least 340. So that's what I was looking for here. And if you go to 5 minute, you can see we had a nice uptrend, but just could not break that flat top up there at 315. So as soon as it started cracking to the downside, stop loss in there, taking me out a little $11 loss. Now this one I did not take in the live stream. I was actually talking to H&H on the phone, and he pointed this one out to me, so I went ahead and dived in. It didn't have a lot of volume. He was saying how he was scared to mess with it because it already had 3 green bars in a row, but it was breaking over that 200, so I went ahead and hopped in there, just 10 shares, just a little bit because that's all I had left of capital for the day. And you can see it did pop up to 7, so it even closed close to 7. Looks like it's going to try to break over 7, and if it does next week, it could run pretty big. There's no resistance until all the way up at 1125, and it's on this nice uptrend, just starting to get buying volume over the past 4 days. Now EEIQ, this was actually a decent win today. It could have been a little bit better of a win, but I felt like I played it pretty decent. There wasn't any news on this, but it popped up and halted. So out of that halt, I forgot who called this one out. I don't think, I might have found this one. I don't remember, but if somebody did call it out, good call out. It started coming down after the halt. So I got in there 30 shares at 570. So that's at the bottom right here, this candle just about, right before the body. And then it started consolidating sideways. Saw it push off with the 10-day crossing over the VWAP here. So that upward momentum continuing to push up and drag the indicators with it. So I added another 40 at 615. I had 70 of this. It did start running, but this is a very low float stock. This is only 8 million in shares. Out of this consolidation, it should have broke pretty hard, and it didn't. It ended up running up to 750, and you can see where I was locking out multiple 10 share positions on the way up on all these candles. Now, I did hold that last bit of shares throughout the rest of the day, and I put a stop loss in for 10 of it, and you can see it cracked out there coming back down, but I still have 20 shares left. I'm $48 in the green on this with 20 shares left. And I like this daily chart a lot. If it can break 7, it's got a lot of room to run, and that float is extremely low. But with the volume this got 36 million in volume. That is 4.5 times the amount of the float, and this only went from 5 to 768. Normally a low float gets that much volume. We see a pretty nice explosion. So this resistance line is really strong. There could be a shelf registration too. I don't know. But this did just hit a low a year. And when it's IPO'd, it shot all the way up to 35. I think it's got potential to go. And it was running against the market today. Even though the market was dumping, it was still pushing up, which is a good sign. This is one of the swings I took yesterday, GROY. Actually, this is one of the day trades that turned into a swing. Still holding it because it's still going up. And it's not going up very fast. Didn't have very much volume today, but ended up closing around 530. Daily chart, you can see the 10-day crossing the 200. Starting to push up to the 50-day. Held above 5. This play could get some action here next week. High of year is 708, so we'll see. But looking pretty bullish, just not a lot of volume yet. Needs a reason. So looking at the NASDAQ top gainers, we got like a little reverse stock split there. ICE did rip in after hours yesterday. Pretty much going sideways all day today though. Nothing really going on. Could be one to keep an eye on, but it is up really high on the daily chart. SGMA, Sigma had a nice run today. They had earnings, revenue rising, good positive keywords through all that PR. So it did run from about 640 up to 916. Pretty low float, only 4 million in float, and didn't really get that much of a move either. So there's just not a whole ton of buying coming into the market today. A lot more selling than buying. Now let's check the swing trade watch list. So like I said, I am holding RHE. This pulled back below the 50 and the 10-day. That's a little red selling candle getting smushed together. A little bit of indecision followed by this bearish candle. There is some support right across 825 that may try to hold. I will hold RHE as long as that 825 holds. If SGRP is still holding up, but not really anything going on with it yet. Socket is up 3% today. And you see Socket starting to test that top resistance. Did have a little peak over, making a high a day at 745. So that could be getting close to that rip I've been looking for. IMTE, this I am swinging on Webull as well. I got in this yesterday in the sideways movement. It's just been going nicely right along this 10-day moving average. 50 starting to cross over the 200 today. Running against the market trend. Break of $6, this thing could really start ripping. Very low float as well. AATC looks kind of like the same thing, but I actually may take a swing position on this now. I like this little pullback today. My only concern is with the market pulling back, if that's going to affect it, because we may have to make a little, we may have to have a pullback first and have like a handle. This may end up being a cup and handle pattern for that $9 break. So I don't know. I may wait till Monday. I'm probably just going to wait till Monday. And then CLWT, looking pretty decent as well, still climbing up its trend line. So for the most part, this swing trade list is not doing too bad. But I'm sure we will be adding and taking away from it on tomorrow's weekend swing trade episode. So everyone have a great weekend. If you don't mind on the way out to smash that like button. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.